Sherilyn Harley, the Bond from Project 21, joins us on the program. Sherilyn, how you doing this evening?
Hey there, how are you?
I am great. Thanks for coming on the program tonight.
Absolutely.
Okay, so are we really hearing people say that the reason why Eric Holder is being brought up for contempt of Congress charges is because of racism?
Yes, that's what we're hearing. And, the problem
who is saying this,
Oh,
Sherilyn?
just all of the I just think all the Democrats.
Chris Matthews, I guess. Former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown, I guess, says
Willie Brown said that. You're absolutely right. Willie Brown said that.
And Chris Matthews compared this to stop and frisk policies.
He did. But we know that Chris Matthews is the one that said he had what did he say? Something up his leg.
Tingle.
Obama. Tingle.
Yes, it was a tingle.
And, here's the problem on so many levels. They're always making excuses. This is the problem. Whether it's Solyndra. Remember when that first came out?
Right.
They said, but the Bush administration, no. The Bush administration took a pass on Solyndra. You approved it. And then even in this instance with Fast and Furious, they originally, if you remember, they tried to claim that Mukasey, our last AG under the Bush administration, was aware of that, and then they walked that back, right?
Yep.
And I think it's important. I know you guys have covered this well, Fast and Furious well. I think it's important to remind people that, this dates back to 2009, okay? And we have done, ISA and DOJ have done this dance with documents now for about a year. And I just find it so curious with so many other things with this administration. If executive privilege was an actual valid thing to assert, one would think this would have been asserted a year ago, right? I mean, if there were really documents that deserved that type of privilege, whether you're concerned about national security or whatever the issue is, kind of falling under the parameters of executive privilege.
Right.
One would think that they would have asserted this a year ago.
Well, absolutely. I mean, look,
right?
When the subpoena was issued back in October, yes. I mean, why now?
Exactly. And, why, the other thing is why in the middle of a hot June, literally months before an election, you've got all this foolishness going on. I mean, why these people want to bring this on themselves? What he needs to do is cooperate, exercise some type of leadership, and stop blaming people. There's this other incident when he says, when Eric Holder alleges, I really don't know much about this. I haven't seen the documents. Not true. His executive aide signed off on wiretaps. So, he knew something about it. And then I think, what do I know? But I'm thinking the reason why they're not giving up these documents is there's a paper trail with Napolitano, White House, because, again, Obama said himself, I don't know much about this. I bet you the documents that they don't want to turn over would reveal that there's been lots of coordination and lots of communication about this. I can't imagine why they don't want to turn over these documents.
The only reason I can think of, Sherilyn, look, I know that there are a lot of Democrats who are saying that this is, partisan in nature and this is political in nature. It's not. The Obama administration.
Really not.
The Obama administration could have dealt with this last year if it had wanted to. But I do believe that the administration and certainly the Obama campaign is viewing this through a political lens. And so by that reckoning, it makes sense that dealing with the political fallout of invoking executive privilege in the minds of the campaign and in the minds of the folks in the administration will be easier or would be easier than dealing with the fallout of what is contained within these documents.
Right. And that you're absolutely right, because clearly now at this point, it's all in the cover-up. It always is. But clearly, there has got to be something. And now ISA, they're like pit bulls on this, right? Now they are fully convinced, that committee, they are fully convinced that they're covering something up. and that there's got to be something in those documents that they don't want the committee and by extension the public to see.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Sherilyn, what do you think? I mean, do you think this is ultimately going to end up going to court? Or do you think the Obama administration will try to save some face here?
This is the most sort of curious and peculiar administration. I mean, you just never know what they're going to do next. I mean, who would have thought that the 11th hour they would have put out an immigration rule like that? Who would have thought, right? Come on. A rule which really means nothing, but they did. Should they cooperate? Should they give them something? They should. But, I just saw something quoted that Eric Holder said, and basically, he's being quite defiant. He thinks he's been wronged here.
Oh, yeah.
And he's very defiant. And, I dare say, just like I feel Obama behaves, they're behaving like petulant teenagers. And, the whole time I've watched, various clips from the hearings that they've had with Eric Holder. And, his whole attitude is, well, why do I have to cooperate? And, I find it just unbelievable, having worked on Capitol Hill and then also worked as a political appointee in the executive branch. And worked in the executive branch when we were not in the majority. So, for Eric Holder to think that he does not have to be held accountable to the committee that has oversight over his agency and that appropriates his budget is unbelievably arrogant. I mean, the arrogance of people in this administration is really astounding.
Well, I guess we're going to see what happens next week, Sherilyn. I appreciate you coming on the program tonight.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Yes, would love to come back on. Have a great evening.